The New World Papers. The New World Papers have been judged communicationally saying this is an informational in regard to the slander and defamation campaign against Francis Michael Brill Sr., who previously ran for office of the governor of the state of Delaware. As with any candidacy, prior to that official running, there was a cleaning up of Francis Michael Brill Sr.'s personal life. This included attempts to gain custody of Francis Michael Brill Sr.'s children, Sabrina Amara Brill and Francis Michael Brill Jr. This also included a divorce after approximately 10 years of separation. This also included reporting crimes that Francis Michael Brill was involved in with approximately 5,000 other people. These crimes spanned approximately 20 to 30 years and involved a theft of approximately $20 million. Francis Michael Brill Sr. had zero criminal record, approximately 90 24-hour periods before registering legally for office of the governor independent candidate candidacy. First off, in regard to the custody of my children. Plans were to wait till they were approximately 18 years of age to reacquaint myself with them, as there was a legal separation or a separation of approximately 10 years in regard to a marital separation. Approximately $80,000 in child support was paid by Francis Michael Brill Sr. During this child support paying, deliverance of the children to Francis Michael Brill Sr., the biological father, was not completed by the biological mother or any who had custody of the children before their 18th birthday. The court-ordered child support order stipulated that the children had to be delivered to the biological father. The children were removed from the biological mother 3 times for negligence. The amount of this time totaled approximately 2.8 years. The child support checks were cashed and the biological father was never notified for 2.8 years. In regard to that 2.8 years, that involved specifically Francis Michael Brill Jr. Sabrina had turned 18. This involved approximately a 3 to 6 month period in regard to Sabrina. When finally notified 2.8 years later that there would be custody hearings, I did attend the custody hearings. Upon attending the custody hearings, I found out that there would be 3 custody hearings. These hearings spanned a year. In regard to Sabrina Amara Brill, she had already reached 18 years of age. In regard to Francis Michael Brill Jr., he was going to be 18 years of age within the last 3 months of the last scheduled trial. Again, no child visits were granted to me or given to me during this 2.8 year period. No visitation was given to me during this approximately year period of this trial after being notified. During this hearing, the presiding judge was informed of a tip-making embezzlement theft scandal in which the person the children were being given to was involved in. The presiding judge and district attorney were specifically screamed at by Francis Michael Brill Sr., "How dare you give my children to thieves?" I did not attend the ridiculously scheduled 3rd hearing, as my son, Francis Michael Brill Jr., would be turning 18 within 3 months. The presiding judge was informed of the tip-making theft and embezzlement scandal, which was blatantly denied by the non-fit mother that the children were taking away from, and her mother, who was seeking custody of the children, and her biological mother, Joan Conroy. Kimberly Conroy lied and communicated to the judge that she knew of no embezzlement scandal. Joan Conroy did the same. Again, I stole myself out of the cash registers with Kimberly Conroy no less than 300 times. Combined per 8-hour shift, this sometimes totaled more than $300 per 8-hour shift. The location of this theft involved a location that required a United States Coast Guard identification to work at this location. Therefore, this is a federal workplace. This child custody hearing occurred at the Cape May Courthouse City, New Jersey courthouse in the county seat of Cape May, known as Cape May Courthouse. Now, in regard to the divorce hearing. Again, personal cleanup was in order upon Human Physical Movement registering as an independent governmental candidate for office of the governor of the state of Delaware. Again, the embezzlement scandal, theft, tip-making, shoplifting scandal was reported to the presiding judge. I also worked side by side with approximately 200 foreign students who were trained and or taught and or learned that this tip-making and theft was acceptable behavior. Again, the theft, tip-making, embezzlement, shoplifting scandal of $20 million that spanned approximately 30 years was reported to the judge. The foreign students were not to blame. the acting supervisors were to blame. The supervisors included, to my remembrance, a Jeannie Wilson who worked there for approximately 15 years, a Pearlian Ross who worked there approximately 15 years. At the time when I was employed there, another of these supervisors is another distant relative, Lisa Brill. Her recent or now husband, John McHale, was also involved. Peter Reese was already named. At the time when I was employed there, another of these supervisors is another distant relative, Lisa Brill. Peter Reese was already named. The former snack bar leaser or lesser, Bill Callahan, who used the name or operation name Gentleman Jim's, son was involved. His name was Michael Callahan. With the theft scandal thoroughly reported, now it was time to focus even further on running for office of the governor. 90 days prior to registering, I, the independent candidate, had no criminal record. After officially registering for office of the governor, I was stopped in Rehoboth Beach by law enforcement officers. I was attending a Halloween festival and was wearing a Halloween costume. Communicationally, the people there were saying Florida and Key West. I was not arrested. I was ticketed and given a ride back to my apartment in Rehoboth Beach. I later found out there was a lewd charge for that costume. I was scheduled for a hearing approximately 6 months after that ticketing. It just so happened that this 6-month period was during the independent candidate portion of where independent candidates have to knock on doors to get signatures in regard to running for an independent candidate for office of the governor as part of the rules. I chose not to knock on people's doors and get these signatures because I did not want to look in people's faces and ask them to trust me with a lewd charge against me because of a Halloween costume. Paid the ticket and moved on. Next skirmish after officially registering was soon to come. A drunk walking ticket was placed against me when I was traveling to the residence where I was residing. That was later dismissed or paid for. Next skirmish involved a cocaine dealer. I was renting a room in a condo in Rehoboth Beach, which was also a campaign headquarters. A known cocaine dealer who recently got out of jail was moved into that particular condominium to rent a room. I was already a registered candidate for office of the governor of the state of Delaware. The landlord, a Ronald Osborne, knew this of this cocaine dealer because I informed him. He was also, in regard to this Ronald Osborne, a campaign fundraiser. This cocaine dealer was also a Bible thumper. The cocaine dealer, Carlos Batres, was rented a room by Ronald Osborne, the landlord. At this condo, he bragged to me repeatedly about bloodying a man within 3 to 5 miles of this condo. After a skirmish between this Carlos Batres and myself, he fled the residence and phoned law enforcement. After a court hearing, I was given 1 year unsecured probation and a monetary fine. Departure from that condominium was immediate. Upon departure, immediate withdrawal for candidacy for office of the governor was communicated via email. This information was sent to the State of Delaware Board of Elections. Again, a reminder, no criminal record prior to registering for office of the governor of the geographic state of Delaware, and these skirmishes after registering for office of the governor of the state of Delaware. To my knowledge, no arrests were made for the tip-making, theft, embezzlement, shoplifting scandal. Exercise extra caution, as Joseph Biden, who is currently Vice President of the United States, also was informed of this tip-making scandal and had full knowledge, and has full knowledge of this tip-making scandal. Exercise extra caution traveling in the state of New Jersey and the state of Delaware, as the people communicationally do know of this scandal. Exercise extra caution, as many of these people are knowingly involved in the cover-up. To read the New World Paper's information, simply sign into Yahoo, select groups, and type Zuherk 111 in the group search window. You can also type the New World Papers in the YouTube search window. You can also type Breathsaver 3000 in the YouTube search window. Communicationally, the writer of New World Papers, without harming who the writer of New World Papers allows in 400, will never permit the people or any other type of beings that these people think they are from the geographical state of Delaware or geographical state of New Jersey. That's how it is. That's how it's always going to be. Don't act like you don't know what's going on in communication, because I've been there, done that, said that, heard that. Thank you. Have a nice afternoon.